I love the names on this team. They have Sixto Sanchez, and they have my favorite name probably in baseball right now, Jazz Chisholm.
Showing emotion in baseball is terrible and should never be in the game.
It's weird how the dynamic works between sports.
But to win a championship, not only do you need great players on the court, but you need good chemistry, which takes time to develop.
Justin Fields is a all-time talent.
Corey Perry will give some veteran presence to the Canadians.
I feel like Luka will take that next step, and if he can get a three ball consistently around 35%, I feel like they could become a contender.
We can make jokes about you not being in the Super Bowl for 20-something years, but...
What's up, everyone? This is Justin Goldman from the Goalie Guild and Lift the Mask, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. It is day 33 of our podcast. This is day 34. We've done 33 days of on the quest for what was once 365, but now 366. As the man that I've had an episode in for 34 days, Austin.
Yeah, I also thought it was 365, but I remembered it's a leap year. We'll have to do something special for that day, and because we don't,
or we could take it off.
Often. What?
We could take it off.
No.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't work like that. But this streak's been good, and the Orioles look like they're finally getting together a true contending team.
And I feel it has to do with the new owner. I think previous ownership wasn't really willing to spend, but this new owner, I think, has a lot of cash. And once I saw that, even though they're in the AL and the Rangers, but when I saw they got Corbin Burnes, I'm like, let's go. That's what you needed. We talked about the entire playoffs. They needed a starting pitcher. That's what killed them in the playoffs against the Rangers.
Every team that's really, really good has an ace. Almost all the teams that are very, very good, that go far in the playoffs, have an ace for them, at least for that season. And Corbin Burnes could definitely be that. Former Cy Young winner, and he's been amazing for the Braves. And while I'm not confident necessarily on the future for the Braves after this deal, whatever Corbin Burnes was worth, they had to spend it because the Orioles needed a starting pitcher so bad.
Yeah, and it didn't really cost them money. It took themselves from the farm, but they got plenty of players in the farm, and the time is really now. And since they didn't spend, you know what I'm thinking with this new owner? Blake Snell's still on the market. Why not sign him to a deal?
That would be insane. They would go from one of the worst starting five pitchers to one of the best. They would go from where I'm worried about what they look like come October to now a very, very scary team.
And yes, and I think they were probably the favorites in the AL anyway going into this.
With Soto in New York, I didn't think
okay,
so.
Yeah, you do have New York.
Because Soto in New York is dangerous. Soto, how do you pitch to Soto and Judge back-to-back? They both get so many walks, both of them, that you walk one, well, you could walk the other. Now you have a guy on first and second with no outs. I still am confident. You add Garrett Cole into that mix, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't add
You add Marcus Stroman too, and then
Stroman. I like
you gotta
Stroman.
have a
Carlos
better
Rodon
year
should
from
come
Rodon.
back and be better. Say again.
Did you and I just say the same thing about Rodon?
Yeah, he should come back and be better.
Yeah.
I'm confident that Rizzo will come back and be better because he had a migraine or concussion-esque issue.
Oh, yeah,
at the
that
year.
concussion.
I'm confident the Yankees will be very good, but now I would put the Orioles above them. Beforehand, I would have said the Yankees, but now with Corbin Burnes, I'm scared if I'm a Yankees fan, and I am so.
And that's very true. And the thing is, also, because this was the best team in the AL last year, had a fantastic bullpen, fantastic lineup. It was just really the starting pitcher left a lot to be desired, but now you get Corbin Burnes, and there was that stat where they have the two leading pitchers in ERA. They had Kyle Bradish.
Yep.
But Grayson Rodriguez should be better. But the difference between Grayson Rodriguez and what I think the Orioles were planning on doing last year was betting on themselves. Hey, we've got the guys. No, you have a legitimate ace now, which is just so great to say. I'm sure for Orioles fans, it's great for me because I love the Orioles. I was rooting for them, outside of when they played the Rangers. But it's just a team that has been bad for so long, and they got so much young talent. I think it's huge for them. And I hope this shows that they're going to make one more move starting pitching wise, because that would just put it over the top.
Yeah, I definitely still think they need to add. I don't think they're done. New ownership, they're trying to make a statement in a city that hasn't had winning in a while. I think they will make another move. But we can move on to the Jorge Polanco trade. What is Seattle doing? Think about this. They traded to get Anthony DeSclafani from the Giants when they trade away Robbie Ray, right? So now they're really only getting Jorge Polanco and Mitch Haniger for Robbie Ray because they traded away DeSclafani, Justin Topa, Gabriel Gonzalez, who's a top 100 prospect, Darren Bowen, and cash considerations for Jorge Polanco, who's a second baseman. I think Minnesota wins this trade. Not only do they get another starting pitcher after losing some of their best guys like Sonny Gray, and I think that Minnesota could still be good because I think DeSclafani's okay. But when you lose Robbie Ray like Seattle did, I thought that was a middling addition. But Jorge Polanco did not have an amazing year last year. I think that Seattle gave away way too much.
Yeah, this is just a weird move. I didn't realize they traded someone they got in the Robbie Ray trade, because the Robbie Ray trade is like, all right, we're going to take a step back. But Polanco trade signifies, okay, we're in it, because they've been dealing with figuring out a second baseman. They had Adam Frazier 2 seasons ago. Then they had Colton Wong. He dealt with injuries. You could argue dealing for Colton Wong and dealing for Polanco are similar to second baseman that used to be really good. You mentioned Polanco could have a bad year. That could be signs of what's to come. But it to me is like, okay, we're fixing our second baseman, but you just created another problem with starting pitching. It's not really a buying team. It's very much, okay, we're selling, but we're also buying.
And they traded so many bullpen guys or prospects that are pitchers. So they have completely gutted their pitching. And they really traded Robbie Ray, all those pitchers I mentioned, for Mitch Haniger and Jorge Polanco. I just don't think that's enough. They gave away prospects, which at least they didn't do that when they traded away Robbie Ray. But now they trade away 4 prospects, including a top 100 prospect, number 79 in MLB Pipeline. So Gabriel Gonzalez, who's an outfielder, along with 2 other prospects that were pitchers, and then obviously DeSclafani. So I don't get this. Do I like Jorge Polanco? Yes. But when you look at the peak that Robbie Ray had as a Cy Young winner, and I know he didn't have the great first year, but then he hurt himself. He could have came back and been a Cy Young level pitcher again. And Mitch Haniger, you had just gotten rid of in free agency. You let him walk, and then you trade for him back. Look, is Polanco a starting level second baseman? Yes. Is he good? Yes. Is he maybe a little bit above average? Sure. But he isn't anything special, in my opinion. He was a one-time All-Star back in 2019, and that was a while ago. When you look at WAR, last year his WAR was only 2. That's not impressive at all. It's fine, but it's not impressive. And while it does fix their issue with second base, you mentioned it, their starting pitching is now a little bit more concerning. Because I know they still have some good guys, but you wanted to have a dominant starting pitching. That was the whole point of signing Robbie Ray. When you signed Robbie Ray, your point was now we're going to have dominant pitching, and now you don't have that.
Yes. So is it an upgrade at second base? Yes. Are they a team lacking direction? I think I can say for both of us, yes. I don't get it for all the reasons you said. They make one move, they go back, they make another move. It just doesn't make sense.
Trade a guy that 2 years ago, 2 years ago, won a Cy Young.
Paid him a bunch of money.
Oh, yes, pay him a bunch of money, along with a top 100 prospect. and only get back Mitch Haniger, who you had on your team before, and Jorge Polanco, who is an above-average second baseman. A former Cy Young winner and a top 100 prospect should get you a lot. I know Robbie Ray is coming off of injury, but players have torn their UCLs before and come back and were fine. I know he didn't have a great first year in Seattle, but he was getting better at the end of the year, was okay come playoff time, and was starting to be better come spring training. I know he got hurt in his first game, but just imagine what you thought you had with Robbie Ray, and you traded him away for two above average at their position guys. Mitch Haniger is probably above average. Jorge Polanco's above average. But it doesn't, you're not screaming off the page. It's not a Cy Young winner. We're not looking at all-stars here. And like you said, losing, maybe not losing direction, but don't have a clear direction. I like this for the Twins. Not only did they give a top 100 prospect who's an outfielder, they get two prospects who are pitchers, and they get a starting pitcher now that I know he's not going to be Sonny Gray, but they didn't trade away Sonny Gray. They traded away Jorge Polanco. So they bolstered their starting pitching. I still think the Twins could be a playoff team this year. I'm confused about what Seattle is doing, but I would say they're probably not done because I don't think you can be.
Yeah, you can't be if you're doing moves like this. So yeah, Seattle really can't see the direction. To me, I can see the Twins' direction. The Twins had a lot of guys. They were trying to do it. They made the Pablo Lopez trade. They had Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray left. It seems like there are teams taking a step back. Okay, we didn't have enough to win last year. We don't want to spend. We're going to take a step back. They get a starter, so that's good for them. They have Correa on a long-term deal. They got an outfielder, which is something they needed because they had Joey Gallo, but he doesn't move the needle. So you get an outfielder in this trade for Polanco. They have plenty of middle infield depth. So Buxton doesn't do much. But to me, this is a team in a few years we can go like, oh, okay, Descalfani is doing well, but I believe, is it Gonzalez that's the outfielder? Or
the outfielder in this trade was Gabriel Gonzalez, yes.
Okay. So Gonzalez is starting left. They have Royce Lewis, who I think might be playing
third. Who was very good in the playoffs for them.
Yes. I know they had a lot of middle infield depth, so they can just have someone there, and they're going to be like, wow, this is a team they're building for something. I can see their vision. I don't see the Mariners' vision.
After this trade, the starting pitching isn't bad. Descalfani with Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez. Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez were very good last year. I know that Descalfani doesn't make up for Sonny Gray, but no one's asking him to. So I think that they're starting pitching, while it's not like elite like it was last year, it's still good. It's still solid. So I think that they're not a bad team heading into next season. And like you said, maybe they're a step back and they barely missed the playoffs. But in 2 years, if Gonzalez is a great outfielder, they won this trade by a mile.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm trying to see what other prospects they have. I swear I've seen something. Because I know that I feel like they're pretty stacked. Because they did trade a lot to get Sonny Gray, but...
they have the number 10 prospect who's also an outfielder. His name is Walker Jenkins.
Oh, Royce Lewis plays shortstop. So...
like I said, they have a top 10 prospect in Walker Jenkins, who's an outfielder. So they'll probably move Royce Lewis to the middle infield. And then Walker Jenkins, but he's not going to be up this year. He's 18 years old, so he'll probably be up in 1 to 2 years. Maybe in 2 years from now. They have one of the best outfielders or best outfields in the league, along with a solid rotation, and they win this trade easily.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. I was looking at 2022. But yeah, they also got Brooks Lee, who I think was a draft pick. He's a shortstop. He's at AAA. Yeah, it seems like they have enough middle infield depth to where this doesn't hurt them. And yeah, 2 years, I think, is when we start seeing these players combined. A little bit of a step back. They could still probably compete for the division because that division is not the best division. But legitimate playoff concerns, expectations, I think, is in 2 years. Mariners, I would say yes, you want to make the playoffs this year because of the moves, but I don't. What is the goal of this season for the realistic goal of the Mariners?
these moves you have to say playoffs, right? Like I don't know how it's not. I know what you're getting at, but at the same time, like you can't make moves like that and then say you're not. You traded away a Cy Young winner, so you think they're tanking. But then you make moves trading away a top 100 prospect, trading away another starting pitcher. The goal has to be playoffs.
I'm in the same thinking. It's just,
and I don't know if they have the team to do that after making the moves they did.
Does this help you realistically? Yes, but
does it?
Like, you did upgrade a second base. Did they upgrade an outfield? Because I like Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah, and they lost him. I don't know.
I would rather re-sign Teoscar Hernandez than trade for Mitch Haniger because he was getting older.
Well, also you had him on your team and you had the chance already to get him. I think that the Twins, if they miss the playoffs this year, I'm still happy with where the Twins are progressing.
Yeah.
So if the Mariners miss the playoffs, they've completely lost their vision. They're kind of in. This is not a perfect example because the Rockies have been in a kind of like they're bad, like obviously, but they still have a lot of old players. The Mariners are still obviously trying, but at the same time, they lack the vision to see what they really need. I think it's not the best example, but I think those are two comparable teams because while the Mariners could still make the playoffs this year, I don't think they're necessarily contenders. I don't think they will make the playoffs this year because of the players they traded away. I was excited heading into the offseason because I thought Robbie Ray would have a resurgent year, but now he's in the Giants, and now I'm thinking the Giants are going to be great. So I don't know. I'm happy where the Twins sit, even if they miss the playoffs this year. I think that they're moving and progressing in a good place. The Mariners, on the other hand, I'm worried.
Yeah, I like that comparison because I thought about making the comparison. I'm like, this is almost like a move the Rockies would make. They trade in the past, trade CJ Cron, but signed Daniel Bard to an extension. They didn't trade CJ Cron. They actually did give Daniel Bard an extension, but they traded someone else. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting his name? Second baseman for the Red Sox now. Oh, Trevor Story. Let him walk.
Yeah, and then they signed Chris Bryant. So it's just they keep Charlie Blackmon. It's like, guys, this isn't. I'm not a big I don't tank. I'm not a tanking fan, but it just keep Trevor Story. Like, if you want to win, try to win. Like, what are we doing? Like, just make a decision.
Clear in your intentions. Should I expect a losing team or a winning team?
Yes. Okay, I'm fine. You want to win. Sign your star shortstop to an extension instead of signing
or trade him before so you get something back.
It's just so confusing. And I think we haven't reached that point of no return that we have with the Rockies, but they are creeping towards that, unfortunate.
Yes. I'm just going to bring it up because I can. Rangers, when they were bad, traded away Joey Gallo. They are like, we're going to be bad. Then they go sign Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. Okay, we're going to be good. When that did not work out, they went and spent a bunch more money on starting pitching, showing, hey, our intention is to win. So, be clear in your intentions if you're a GM, because first of all, it's your job. Second, you're going to get fired.
It's a good way to put it.
If you're not clear.
That's a good way to put it. I got nothing else to add.
Yeah, so that's all. I think, do we see another signing? I kind of want Blake Snell to the Orioles.
We'll see.
But yeah, that's all we got. Thank you for listening. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We try to get to them as fast as we can, and we appreciate all our listeners.